Joe McEwing took me out in the outfield. We sat in center field right after BP, and he goes, "This is where you want to be." My first follow-up being in San Francisco, that was the first place, the first stadium I was at, and the Giants, unbelievable organization. At the time, they had like Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent and all those big time players. So I remember that like yesterday. Joe McEwing brought me out during BPA, took me out in the outfield. We sat in center field right after BP, and he goes, "This is where you want to be." And that is where you want to be. There's no better league than the big leagues. So I was just super grateful. I was living a dream. Honestly, I was in AA when I got called up initially, and John Stearns was my manager. He actually took me out of a game. And usually when a manager takes you out of a game, I was not thinking I was going for the big leagues, trust me. But when a manager takes you out of a game, it's usually because you did something wrong in the game, like you didn't run out of baseball or you didn't play hard or any of those things. So when he took me out, I was thinking during the game, like, I wonder why he took me out. I'm curious. And then he called me in after the game and he said, "Hey, go pack your bags. You're going to meet the big league team in San Francisco. Congratulations." And I remember that like yesterday. And what an unbelievable experience and what an unbelievable opportunity for me, a life-changing opportunity to get the chance to play in the big leagues in New York and a big stage. And I tried to fool him as long as I could. I was kind of up and down for a few years there between the big leagues and AAA. And after it's all said and done, like baseball, when your playing career is over, it's about the experiences and the people that you met. And some experiences I had on the field and some experience I even had off the field with my teammates, my coaches, and the places I was able to go to across the country. And really across the world. I mean, we were in Canada, Puerto Rico, things like that. I played in Dominican in winter ball. It all comes down to those experiences that you could draw to. And then when my career came to an end, I knew right away I wanted to get into coaching and use those experiences that I had while I was coaching. But I had such great influences in my life, in the game of baseball, through the game of baseball. That I can always draw to, and I'm in contact with them, my college coaches to professional coaches. So all in all, it's all about the experience and enjoying the ride of it and making sure we don't take anything for granted on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and you've gotten this program now into a pretty sensational place. What motivated you to want to go into, coaching you talk about kind of wanting to spread, knowledge, but there's a lot of different paths in coaching, right? You could have gone and tried to work your way through a major league system in the minor leagues, a lot of people stay with the organization that they finish with and then kind of work through it that way. What made you want to go into the college ranks versus maybe trying to work through the MLB circuit?
The family atmosphere at the time, there was about, if you coach college, you have the ability to impact 18 to 22-year-olds for 4 years. You see them come in, you recruit them out of high school, and then you see them and you have them for 3 to 4 years while in college. You've seen them grow up. And that's really, truly, I'm a relationship type coach. I enjoy having, really good relationships with our guys, and I enjoy teaching them. There's also hard conversations, accountability, things like that. But all in all, it draws to the family atmosphere that I like and that I want in our program, and I think we do have that.
You've had all these successful seasons since you came. It goes without saying that there would be opportunities to, quote unquote, elevate from a prestige perspective. What has motivated you to continue to grow with this program in Kent? Because you're definitely making positive impact on a lot of young men's lives by staying where you are.
From playing so long, I've moved so much. When I was playing professional baseball, and I feel like this is home. I've got 2 kids myself, and I'm raising a family. I'm in administration here in an athletic department at university that realizes baseball is important. You always want more, right? Like that, there's no doubt, but It's been really good. I come to the office every day with energy. I love seeing my staff. I have a really good routine here, and I love our team, and I really love the model that we have here. As far as our development model, and my administration, they let me do what I need to do, which is great. Who kind of like the CEO of the program. I've got to fundraise, do things like that, but I like that. I enjoy it, and I like to recruit still. I'd like to be on the field. So the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's been really good. I'm very focused, and I'm continuing to win championships and to develop our guys and to develop coaches as well. I've seen some really good coaches go and move on. We just have Barrett Serrato went to Purdue, and they're doing great things at Purdue. Tony Caldwell is at Southern Illinois. Cade McClure is at Mercer. They could be a host this year. I think they just prepped in the top 25. He was on our staff last year. So like it's been great to see and develop not only coaches but players. And it's been a really good model for me, and I enjoy doing it. So I have no regrets. But I'm building, obviously opportunities, they come and go, whatever, but I'm very happy here, and I feel like we have a good model for success.
Is there a gratitude that comes from being able to plant your feet too? Because when you're in your MLB career, you're just seeing that players have zero control over being able to stay where they are. You can sign a long extension, you can put whatever clauses you want in contracts, but one way or another, if the time comes where the fit's not working out anymore, you could find yourself in a totally new city and have to relocate your entire family. Whereas in this job, you do have control over staying as long as the team continues to have success, and
Yeah.
they have continued to have success. So that's something that you've been able to do.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and we always want to get better. We still feel like we have unfinished business. I do have dreams and aspirations to taking this team to Omaha, and obviously, the first step is winning the tournament. And we've had a ton of success. I think we've won 7 or 8 championships in the last 12 years, and I certainly I want to get out of this tournament by winning another championship. We came up short a little bit in the regular season. Miami had such a great year, and they came down to the very last game. We had a chance to at least be a co, and that's the beauty of it, though. Sometimes and those teaching moments, it's not always about success, and it's sometimes you can learn a lot from failure. And we put our best foot forward on Sunday, came up short, but that only makes us more aware of what we need to do going into the tournament. So I really like where we're at, kind of like what you said, going in as a 2 seed, and we have a great team, as you know, very balanced, a starting rotation where we have all 3 starters have won 6 or more games, and I think there's only 4 or 5 teams in the country that have done that. I mean, a lineup that can win in different types of weather. We can win in cold weather. We can win by leaving the yard and hit homers and doubles, but we can also win by stealing bases and finding ways to manufacture once. So I like where we're at.
I'm just curious because I don't know. Coming into this, I haven't asked anybody. But there's a very strong group of religious young men on your team. Is that something that you've been intentional about, or is that something that's just kind of happened organically and been player led? Because I mean, Peyton was telling me this morning, 25 kids are doing Bible study together. If nothing else, it bonds them. But that's pretty incredible for a public institution, non-religious school, 25 kids getting together every week to study the Bible. Is that something that's intentional, or is that something that's kind of just come up organically in your program?
It's come up organically for sure. Now, I am strong in by faith. There is no doubt. Both my kids go to Christian school, and I believe in the good Lord, and I feel like He's given me so much, and I am so grateful for that. And same thing with me leading these young men in that Walker, right? I draw to my faith nightly, and it's gotten me through a lot of tough times because there's adversity in life, and there's adversity in this game. And I feel like if you are close to the Lord, you certainly have a foundation to get through those tough times. But I will say that it's organically with them. Nick Gaitis, he leads that. And we've had really good support in our community come in here and lead Bible study, and they do a great job.
Core anchor, probably why this team's successful, because you can listening to Peyton this morning. It sounds like it really helped him on the field, just getting that help off the field has really helped him mentally on the field. So, I think that it's also something that clearly has seemed to help the bond of a lot of these young men, and it has not been something that's been forced on them, which is nice. It does not sound like it's a thing where if the kids aren't attending, that they're being excluded or anything negative happens. But for the ones that do choose to do it, it seems like it's been a massive factor in their success on the field.
100%. I think like the biggest thing too is there's so much anxiety now in today's age where we're moving so fast. Everything's very fast, everything's result oriented. And it's really hard to go through and be successful, right? And to be able to handle the adversity, to be able to handle the anxiety in today's society. I really think that pillar and the foundation, having faith base and being close to God. We have different religions too, right? We've had, Jewish players, we've had, different backgrounds, but having a strong faith in a God is important.
When we're telling the story of this season, next time I'm talking to you, what story do we want to be telling? Because we're still writing it right now.
Successful. It's going to be a successful story regardless. It's been pure joy. I love coming to the locker room every day and seeing these guys and see how hard they work. They really do. There's no nonsense. They come to breakfast every single day. I just got an email that they got a 3.4 GPA, which is the highest cumulative in our history of our program. They're unbelievable in our community as well. People love them. Like we go to a hotel and I'll hear three things from different people. Like, I'm just going to tell you, I just got, served one of your players a cup of coffee, and I cannot tell you how polite and how, well-mannered he was. Or if we're on a flight, your team behaves so well. They're so respectful. They're so polite. And I'm super proud of that.